As if we don't have enough delirious voices, drunken voices, hungover voices around here, because Greg Cody doesn't know where he is. Amin Al-Hassan was chasing Jokic brothers in Denver, and now is here and is just trying to fund and fuel his next party, a promised party that brings us now Mo Dakhil, and I don't know why he's here exactly, like in the middle of what we're doing presently. I know that he's been a good part for a couple of years now of your post-game coverage after games. I just don't understand why he's here right now this minute.
Finals are in Miami. Why else? Why wouldn't I be in Miami?
He was invited to a party.
He's here for the party.
Yeah.
Welcome. I actually wasn't planning on coming until I heard the party, and I said, "Oh, let me book a flight and fly out."
Mo, what has Amin promised on behalf of Meadowlark Media that he's now negotiating on air? What has been promised to NBA writers?
Apparently airtime.
Well, that too. That's part of the gift bag, evidently. No, Amin is bait and switch. Last night Amin booked me on Frank Isola's show. Like
I'm the Iceman.
He's running grifts all over the place.
Let me tell you right now, all across the media, I've got us going out. I've got people coming in. It's going to be a zoo in this studio for the next week. Dan, by the way, Frank wants to know, Wednesday or Friday, which works better for you?
Who's Frank?
The Iceman.
The Iceman. I stole it.
Just
The name you just said.
I only knew him as the Iceman.
How do I get on?
I mean, if you're known as the Iceman, would you go by your real name?
No, never.
How did it come to be that you booked me on that show, Amin?
Well, yeah, they reached out, and I said, yeah, Dan would love to do it. He loves doing these things. He loves showing up in person and walking the concourse to get to the booth and doing a show from there. By the way, that's where they do the
it's
show
in
from.
person, Dan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Gotta be live.
Yeah, live from the finals.
Good for you, Dan.
It's quite the rub.
I mean, it's the Iceman.
What
He's
day
And
was
Scal. And Scal, by the way.
Oh, wow. Keeps getting better.
I mean, do you work here in a way that produces content that everyone wants to consume every minute that over the last few days when you've been in Denver?
Absolutely. Look, NBA Radio is reaching out to
Confused by
us.
The question? What was the question exactly?
Look, as long as you end with an uptick in your intonation.
Make it a paragraph instead.
I'm getting legitimately mad about the grift. That Amin has promised a party that I'm just learning about while...
Never start a company during a pandemic?
Wait a minute, that's Dr. Evil.
I'm afraid the details of my life are quite inconsequential.
Why?
Why is Mo here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just... Mo, why are you here outside of your job? Yeah.
To give us basketball analysis that both of you can geek out on for 5
Can you
minutes?
do so in a high-pitched question?
Mo,
think I can.
What has been the most interesting part of this Nugget series so far?
Well, let's start, Mo, with the conversation from 2 segments ago where Stugotz and Greg Cody claimed that Nikola Jokic is boring to watch.
Oh, come on.
I don't want to have that conversation again.
Can we do it smarter? Come on.
Maybe he agrees.
Smarter.
Well, let's why do you think the Nuggets aren't drawing the attention of the Stugotzes and the Greg Codys of the world?
Because they're looking for the athleticism, the dunks, and all the fun stuff with that stuff, even defensively with blocks and all of that. You're not going to get that from Jokic. What you're going to get from Jokic, and I'm looking directly at the two of you guys.
Made our point.
The most important thing there is you got to watch the genius of this guy's passing. It's unbelievable. We haven't had a passer like this, since Magic. A guy that can make these types of passes in a split second, catches the ball with one hand, and at the same time is throwing those passes to Aaron Gordon for those dunks and those plays that you guys love. He's definitely worth watching.
How can our show be the actual show that has someone who is Magic and Bird combined, and Greg Cody and Stugotz are like, not going to need to be more than that. I'm going to need you to be, with their hands in their underwear, I'm going to need you to be something a little better than the best of all the athleticism out there.
Just someone who jumps.
You bore me. You bore me, you excellent creature that has, taken our most athletic game and broken it over his knee. It's flabbergasting.
It's frustrating.
No, but wait, you admitted that he's a great passer. Okay, we all agree. no look, all that stuff. But you
Stugotz, you
admit
agree?
it. Other than that,
Sure.
he doesn't do a lot
Oh,
of the
come
stuff
on,
that
man.
we
Oh,
associate with
Well,
athleticism and excitement.
but there's more to the game than just the pure athleticism of that stuff. And a lot of what he does leads to showing you those amazing things. I mean, the full court length, one-handed water polo type pass. Nobody can do that. That's insane. It's absurd. To be able to catch the rebound and as he's coming down with the rebound, look down court and throw a one-handed full court pass to hit a guy in perfect stride. I mean, he's going to do it better than Aaron Rodgers.
You're talking about Kevin Love?
That's a two-hand chest pass. It's
So
different.
you want me to tune into the NBA Finals for an outlet pass? I mean, what's the matter with you?
It's a hell of a pass, though, Stugotz.
It's really an amazing outlet pass, though.
Mo, one of the questions that Dan asked me yesterday was Mike Malone questioning the effort of his team as a reason
Michael.
why. Michael Malone. That's right. He's corrected me personally about that. Said his mom didn't name him Mike. He
Give
named
it
him
to
Michael.
him, please.
So what? I'm just saying, like this is.
He corrected me personally.
He did
Congrats.
in a conversation.
How often does he do that? Does
Well,
he do that to everybody?
correct people on the name? Yes, he does.
Oh, get over yourself,
He's very.
Mike.
What? Wow.
Exactly.
Well, wait a
Roy-
minute. But this,
Right.
Roy,
Really salty after the Panthers loss, huh?
Roy, are you just
Oh.
learning this now? No.
Yeah, yes, I'm just learning this. It's Mike Malone.
I mean, they miss an obvious
Right.
slashing from Hill on Kachuk.
Yeah.
It was right in front of the referee.
And
then
right in front of him.
And then Martinez scores right after that. It's all she wrote.
But so Dan asked me about Coach Malone's comments. What did you have to see from when we watched the film?
It's what I do. He's right. When I'm watching the stuff defensively, they're not doing a good job rotating. It's not even just making mistakes. It's just not even making the effort to do the stuff. They're getting hung up on screens, all of that stuff. It was surprising when I was watching it, rewatching this game, going like, damn, I missed some of this the first time.
By the way, let me do a Dan Le Batard impression here and say I've failed to give you guys the bona fides of Mo Dakhil. This is a man who's worked across the league for Greg Popovich and other great luminary coaches and personnel. He's been a video coordinator with the Clippers, with the San Antonio Spurs. What am I missing?
I worked with Team Australia.
Oh, that's right. He worked with Brett Brown on Team Australia. Someone the other day said Mo worked for Team USA, and I said, he worked for Team AUS. Close, but no cigar.
Constantly got eliminated by Team USA.
By the way, I work for Team USA. Just got to throw out there. 2008 gold medal, no big deal. Oh, I'm not just a clown, Chris. I've got credentials and bona fides.
Where's your medal?
Well, I didn't get one. I got a T-shirt.
What did you do to act? What did you do
Congratulations.
to really contribute to that?
I did
title?
advanced scouting, man. Like we were the scouting reports for the personnel for the teams we were playing against. So Lithuania and Spain and all those things. I was the one that was doing the scouting reports. So yeah.
It's definitely that and not having the best players in the
Well,
world.
I mean, look what happened in 2004. We had the best players, didn't work. What happened in 2006 in the World Championships? Didn't work. 2008, they said, "Get me Amin Hassan." Guess what? Guess what? The winning didn't stop.
Do you wear the T-shirt? Do you wear it to bed?
To bed? No, Dan. This is a prized possession.
So is it hung up on a wall?
No. It's in my closet.
So you don't wear it.
I wear it every once in a while. Like I wear it around Olympic time. Let people.
What
know,
does it say?
It says USA gold medal, and then it has everyone's name on it. Not mine, but all the players.
Do you get like the lesser medal?
So
kind of like with like
No, he got a
championship rings?
T-shirt.
No, he
that
got
he
a
doesn't
shirt.
wear.
That-
without
like,
his
I don't
name.
crappy
understand.
second prize.
You went to Fanatics after they won?
Yeah,
I don't-
exactly.
I don't understand.
I did get a lesser medal. The lesser medal turns out to be a T-shirt. That's how it's hard about it. By the way, the Coach K didn't get a gold medal either. So me and Coach K got the same compensation.
I don't
Hardly.
think that's true.
Yeah.
Probably not. No.
Close though.
Same thing. Me and Coach K.
Meh.
Mo. So
You think that your contributions to that victory, an American patriotic victory, are being underestimated and mocked by you take this seriously. You're proud of it, and you got a T-shirt that means something to you, but the rest of the group here is laughing at you.
Yeah, because they've never experienced success of this order. I mean, I get it. Like, it's lonely at the top, as they say. But, I know that the Team USA, the main additions from the version in 2006 that didn't win to the version in 2008 that did win, Kobe Bryant, Chauncey Billups,
And you.
Jason Kidd, Amin Hassan.
And they gave you a T-shirt.
Yeah, pretty gift. No.
You know what?
Jesus.
You know
I'm
what,
being
Greg?
honest. I'm
No,
being
Greg.
honest.
Greg. No, hold on.
For
Greg.
everything you did.
Right.
Greg,
our
you know what?
country.
For that kind of
First of all-
contribution, yes. It's
For
awful.
everything he did, he deserved a better gift than
No,
a T-shirt.
no.
Thank
You know
you for
why?
your service.
The reward was a success, Greg. You see, you guys, this is why you guys will never be a part of something like this, because you're all after the material things. Where's your medal? Look, I just wanted to be part of something special and bring the team over the hump. And I think I did a great job of it, but no thank yous from anyone here. You guys were crying about Team USA losing in the Olympics, losing everywhere. Amin came in and saved it, but you guys didn't do anything. Greg, tell me I'm wrong.
I was trying to beat Team USA.
I wish you had gotten a better gift.
This is a new and unimproved Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
I am always legitimately delighted when I see this man's face because he is a spiritual gangster. This man, Stugotz, was enduring physical pain on his body playing basketball 40 years ago and is still an energy beast somehow. Must be in great physical pain and brings sunshine everywhere he goes.
He is the absolute best. I once had him on Stupidity. I asked him one question. He answered in 35 minutes. It was the only question I asked. And I'm pretty certain I've been to 2 or 3 Dead & Company shows with Bill, but Bill doesn't know he's been to 2 or 3 with me. It's unbelievable.
I know. I do know Stugotz. Yeah, because I'm the luckiest dude in the world, man. I was born into a world of hope, optimism, peace, love, books, and music. I got to know Dan Le Batard years and years ago. I got to know Stugotz. I got to know all the other guys on your team there. I'm a team guy, and I'm really enjoying this year's NBA Finals. I found basketball when I was 8 years old, 3 years after I found my bike. And then just 1 year later, I found Chick Hearn on the radio, and that changed everything for me. When I was 15, I found the Grateful Dead, Stugotz, UCLA, and John Wooden. Then when I was 17, I found the ultimate mentor, Ernie Vanderway. 28, Marty Glickman taught me how to speak. When I was 37, I found the woman of my dreams, Lori, the greatest everything ever. She's not a thing, but I can't think of a better word than everything. We have 6 children, 14 grandchildren. When I was 55, Dr. Garfin, Dr. Liz Stimson, UC San Diego, they saved my life, fixing my spine. When I was 56, I found Pat Kilkenny and Ted Roth, who took Ernie Vanderway's place. Now that I'm 70, I just found Jerry's middle finger, and now I have a chance at a full and complete life. I am the luckiest guy in the world, and believe it or not, ESPN is putting a 30 for 30 on my life on TV tonight. Now, I thought coming in that it was going to be a movie about my friends, about my teammates, about the teams and the Blazers, focused on that. But things change along the way, as it often does with the Grateful Dead show. And man, the way they opened last night up at Burgestown in Pennsylvania, just west of Pittsburgh there. Wow, hell in a bucket into Alabama getaway. They were rocking last night. To be able to follow it all on nugs.net. And Stugotz, I hope to see you out there ASAP. I'm not sure what shows you're going to be able to get to, but look for me. I'm the tall guy with the big smile on his face, trying to wave his arms in the air and celebrate the greatness of everything that we have. But what is better right now than the NBA Finals? Miami Heat. What a story, man. They have made every one of their opponents quit. And it's just remarkable because they're so good. They're so disciplined. They play the team game. They're smaller than every team they play against. And they have all these guys, but they got Jimmy Butler, and we're really hoping that his dad is going to be okay. I just saw the news that his dad is having some difficulties out there. I was there when my dad died. It's just devastating. I was there when my mom died too. And then all these different guys who come into play. Kevin Love is just doing a remarkable job. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Kyle Lowry, one of my all-time favorites, a lot like Lionel Hollins, man. You just look at him and you say, he wins the games out there. And Caleb Martin is doing a fabulous job. Cody Zeller, really a critical component here. But Bam Adebayo, what Bam is doing right now is absolutely spectacular. I love the way that guy plays. Everybody's talking about Nikola Jokic, who is a brilliant player, who is radiant, who is transcendent, who is spectacular. Empty the thesaurus. But Bam says, hey, man, I've got a game too. And that's what you do. And now Miami has taken full control of this series. Their challenge is to keep it because Denver, they have to get back what got them game one, which is taking advantage of their size, strength, speed, quickness, and shooting ability. And with Nikola Jokic playing the high post at the start of game one and just dumping that ball in perfectly, he puts the ball on time, right on the mark, and giving it to Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon down low. Now, granted, Kevin Love is a bigger and stronger and better defender than when they were going with Caleb Martin in the starting lineup there. And hopefully Kevin will be able to continue to play well. You never know. It's a basketball game. It's the Dead Show. It's the Dan Le Batard Show. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when you're going to go. And so here all these guys are. And when we talk about the remarkable success of the Miami Heat this year, they made Milwaukee quit. Milwaukee was the heavy favorite to win the whole thing coming in, and they just made them quit. Then they go on, and Miami takes on the Knicks, and the Knicks were playing fabulous ball. And yeah, they had a couple of late injuries that changed things, but nobody was slowing down Miami. Miami made the Knicks quit and made them all look terrible. And then Boston had everything going for them. Boston, as soon as Milwaukee went out, everybody shifted over to Boston. And then Miami, improbably, they give up game 6 at home, and then they go up to Boston and they just crush them. So reminiscent of the 74 finals when Boston went into Milwaukee in game 7 and won on the road. That is the ultimate test. And now you've got this team. You cannot speak about the Miami Heat, though, and the way they play and how they play and who they've got without talking about Pat Riley. Yes, Eric Spoelstra is an incredible coach, and we love everything that he does. Eric, he got his start there with the Portland Trail Blazers, my initial franchise in the NBA back when I started. I'm going to say that was, I don't even remember, 50 years ago now, I guess. I don't know. Where did the time go? But Eric's dad was a senior executive with the Trail Blazers. But what Pat Riley does is that he backs his coach, and he knows that the coach has to have management's backside all the time. And so Pat Riley does that. And these players, whoever they are, they know full well that if they quit on the team, if they quit on Eric Spoelstra, they're gone. Eric Spoelstra is not going anywhere. And I love it when they keep showing Alonzo Mourning and Bob McAdoo, two of my all-time favorites. And the way that Pat Riley has built this absolute great culture. I am the luckiest guy in the world, man. This is so exciting. Such great basketball. How are you guys doing today?
All right. Yeah. The best.
Yes. So, Dan, I'm watching this show. The Luckiest Guy in the World, right? It's going to be on ESPN tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern. And I'm just thinking back. I mean, because they go way back. Steve James, this remarkable television director, and he and his partner Zach Piper put it all together. Marcia Cook has kept it all together at ESPN. But as I have changed, as I have evolved, as I have grown up, it was just, as the luckiest guy in the world, when I started in the NBA in 1974, which I'm going to say is now 49 years ago, I guess. And so I did not know how to play in the game of life. I was injured all the time with the undiagnosed stress fractures, and no one believed that I was injured. So I was really up against it, and I could not speak. Marty Glickman, the guy that opened up my mouth in terms of the ability to communicate my thoughts and my dreams, and that just really changed everything. But to look back and to see how unprepared I was, how unsuspecting I was, how undiscerning I was. And hopefully I'm a lot better person today. My goal in life is to be better, to do better, and to do more. And what more could I ask for than to be on the Dan Le Batard Show here? Because this place rocks. And I look at your studio and I look at your team, and I'm just figuring that you guys are going to take on the ultimate winner of this series here. And with Miami in control, they cannot give up home court. that when you're a great team, when you're going for that championship, and you do not lose on your home court. And what they have to do, Jimmy is one of those guys who is at his best in the biggest of moments. And that's what I love. Competitive greatness. Be at your best when your best is needed. Gabe Vincent, all these guys, Max Strus, and then Caleb Martin and Duncan Robinson. These guys, their stories are just incredible. Their journey there. ESPN is going to be doing a 60 for 60 on these guys out there, all four of them, as they've all come together, and the excitement in the arena down there in Miami tonight. No, that game is tomorrow night. The movie is tonight. The luckiest guy in the world.
Bill, we are luckier than you, Bill. Thank you for being on with us. We appreciate your time. We always appreciate your time, your smile, your spiritual energy. Thank you, sir.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I love Bruce Brown, too. I love Jeff Green, man. These guys, some of my favorite players ever, and their stories. Bruce Brown reminds me a lot of Johnny Davis. We talked about Kyle Lowry and Lionel Hollins, but Johnny Davis was the fastest guy I've ever seen play basketball. And you watch this movie tonight, and Johnny's going to be running at a different speed than everybody else, even though it was 46 years ago. Oh, my gosh. And then Nikola Jokic. Oh, my gosh. Nikola Jokic is like one of the Florida Keys, or he's like the big river of water coming right down through Central Florida and ending up there in the Everglades and just making it all happen. But just watch out for all the alligators in there. Dan Le Batard Show. Stugotz. We'll see you on tour. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Your show is phenomenal. Thanks for my life. Here we go.
We love you, Bill. Thank you so much. I have to explain to the audience, this is a stupefying thing that has happened. Before that segment started, Amin was taking bets in the other room, over, under on number of questions that we would get to ask as a show of Bill Walton. Everyone took bets. Everyone. The line was 1.5. 1.5. The correct answer is 0 questions. We never asked a question.
I just made a statement.
We gave applause, and there were 0 questions. I don't think anyone had 0. Did they have?
Roy had under with a lot of exclamation points, so I think Roy is the big winner here.
Bill asked us a question.
So Dan, I learned from Ahmad Rashad. When I got started in broadcasting, I was working a lot with Ahmad, and Ahmad, he just told me, hey, man, when that microphone comes to you, don't give it up until they turn it off. Thanks for my life, guys. Here we go. The Dan Le Batard Show, where dreams become reality, where we come to grow, and where the deal goes down. Stugotz, I'll see you out there. Dead & Company Tour. John Mayer has taken it through the stratosphere. He is Nikola Jokic. He is Jimmy Butler. He is Bam Adebayo. He is Jamal Murray, and more. Thank you, guys. Here we go.
Yeah!
This is the biggest story in sports right now. This unforeseen LIV-PGA Tour merger that caught everybody by surprise, and moves like this typically don't catch people by surprise.
It's dominating social media.
It's
crazy.
Because some of the most valuable and influential golfers in the world who thought they were standing for something in a time that their sport needed to stand for something, and one of the rare occasions that golfers actually felt passionately about stuff to the point that they would sacrifice hundreds of millions of dollars, in some respects closer to $1 billion when you consider Tiger Woods. This is a startling story, and Phil Mickelson, all this stuff is kind of trickling in, and I'm reminded that Phil Mickelson was asked about the PGA Championship, and he kind of, almost like an evildoer, alluded to, I know some things that others don't. I wonder how much back-channeling there was through the LIV Tour guys. Did they keep this away from the PGA Tour guys? We haven't heard yet, I don't think, from Rory McIlroy, who is the most public voice against LIV and everything
Has
that
to be
it stood
seething
for.
today, yes.
Has to be.
Yes.
Well, but can we talk about what's happening
Furious.
underneath? Yes, guys. Yes, we can talk about the hundreds of millions that have been cost by the guys who took the stand.
See, I think you want to do like the Saudi thing, and I'm so beyond that. We've had that show. We've done that a million times. That's a realization. Yeah, I think what happened really is the PGA didn't want to go through discovery, didn't want to go through litigation and risk their tax exempt status. I am far more interested in how the PGA is going to manage the personalities and is going to manage the fact that people are now back into the tour and their deals with LIV aren't going away. Those are contracts. So the people that decided to stand for something are totally screwed.
Who backed the commissioner, who backed the tour,
Yeah.
and then the tour announces this without telling its players, the people who
are the
backed them.
Saudis going
Right.
to end up making some of these golfers whole? But now Rory is having to take, if this is a true merger, Rory is going to have to do something that he didn't want to do, which is receive money from the Saudis. And this was just detonated. How do they go about managing this?
And you also wonder how people in the media, like my dad is somebody who like was rooting against Brooks Koepka in these recent majors because he's one of the LIV guys. People like thought differently of them. Like, are you just going to welcome them back in? Like, 'cause you tried to make a Like, that's why it was hard when you were making those stances. It's all murky. This is it's hard to start throwing stones at one when you get very hypocritical very quick.
Chris, I'll tell you this. 2 days ago, Jack Nicklaus wrote off Brooks Koepka. Like, he's
Right.
not part of the tour. I mean, he just won the PGA.
Think about that. Think about that. One of the titans of the sport
Yes.
just wrote a guy off.
Yeah, he
Correct.
said they're not even involved in golf anymore. is
Yes.
the way they put it.
As far as he's
They have
concerned.
disappeared.
Yes,
It's
right.
hugely embarrassing. There has to be enough money in this deal. I'm certain of it to make everybody feel okay by this. But right now there are going to be a lot of bruised egos and a huge difference in variance in salary structure for some of these golfers on the tour that decided to cast aside some of their moralities and take bigger paychecks. Some of those golfers that went to LIV, it's real, genuine, life-changing money. But I don't understand how the PGA could look at some of these golfers in the face after this.
I think some of the golf galleries are always going to boo the Koepkas and the LIV Golf guys. They're always going to be the LIV Golf faction, even after the merger. But I also think LIV Golf, as part of this merger, has to make it right financially for the majority of the players who are getting screwed. They just have to.
I got to tell you, I am honestly, Mike keeps saying this is a huge shock because nobody knew about it. And maybe I sound like a know-it-all when I say it, but I'm less surprised by the idea that just general greed would win. All right, let's start there. That general greed would win. Doesn't matter where the money comes from. We'll get all the money. And of course, Mickelson is right. PGA, you were bleeping us. You were taking all the money. I'm going to go get this blood money over there. I'm going to change the rules. And now the PGA is like, okay, you could change the rules. Yeah, we were taking all the money. Let's all share all the money and let's throw in some blood money. And Mike says, I've been doing that show. Look at how quickly the moralities fall where all of you are like saying, and I wonder how that'll change the golf tour. I wonder how everything will be different now in sports because Jack Nicklaus is saying he's written this guy off. Golfers took a stand. And what happened? The other guys got the money.
Yes.
Now my dad is saying, as long as the Saudis spreads out the money for everyone that was going to get it originally, I'm good with it.
Which
Right.
they're not going to do, by
no.
the way.
I
They're
think
not
it's
going to do it.
I think it's terrible what's happened. I think the merger is terrible, and as I said before, Monahan, the commissioner, is out of here for the way he
What do
bungled
you mean?
this merger.
He probably
He
just
runs
made
golf, Greg.
his job is to make that entity as much money as possible. He protected their tax exempt status, and who knows the money that is now.
My
funneling
point
his way.
is the stance takers lose here, okay? And yes, there will be plenty of money. Yes, oil, dirty blood money. Will sports wash all of it? And they just bought golf. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you again, yes, a lot of moral hypocrisies everywhere. But Tiger Woods, who never took a stand in his life, just lost $1 billion for taking one. And all of us are like, hey, what'll it look like when they get together again and it's Phil and Tiger at the end of one of these majors that's all murky?
Yeah, well, actually, I don't think all of us are going there. I'm genuinely wondering how some of these golfers step up to a PGA tee box right now. And I've been told, as soon as this show's over, I'm going to put on Golf Network and try to see because everyone's genuinely confused.
Have you ever done that before?
I've never rushed to Golf Network to find talking heads talking about something because they're far more informed than gas bags like us. I know all the media shows, the big ones, national in scope, they're not in the weeds in this. We're still learning about this. The biggest insiders in the sport were shocked and surprised by this. Everybody except for Phil Mickelson, who left a crumb just so he can look like a badass in retrospect.
There's a prime opportunity here, and I'm not being facetious, for a mutiny of PGA Tour players led by Rory and others like him to break off and start a separate tour. I don't know how that would work. I don't even know if it's feasible, but this is a moment in time.
I'm not even sure LIV was
when
feasible.
That could happen.
Was LIV even feasible?
But Greg-
LIV survived because of this almost infinite pool of money. Because LIV as a business was failing.
Terribly. The CW. Nobody watches that. The team golf thing, unless it's the Ryder Cup, golf fans don't care about the team concept.
But which is right here? Greg Cody's saying fire the commissioner. Stugotz is saying he's the most powerful man overrunning the dirty sport right now.
Well, he just made himself, by doing this, he made himself the most powerful man in that sport,
What's
who's
the power-
overseeing the entire sport.
What's the power structure? Who's in charge?
It is a bad look for the commissioner of golf, who, when people were leaving to join LIV, invoked 9/11, and now a year later makes a deal with that league.
Oh yeah, he's a. I mean,
After saying never, 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 never,
Yeah.
I'll never, never, never do this.
And he blindsided his players.
He blindsided. I think that's the worst part because
is the
they were
worst.
they were the ones in front of the microphones for the most part, having to answer for all this. And yes, he did invoke 9/11. Meanwhile, the European tour has all sorts of hypocritical sponsorship deals along with it. I don't know how this shakes out. You mentioned, well, what if the golfers band together and start a new one? I'm like, LIV didn't even work with all these resources.
It was short-lived.
Stugotz has in front of him, and it's not surprising that in this era of greed and take whatever blood money it is you could take from every corner, Stugotz just showed me something, and Mike was pointing it out to me earlier as well. The voice who could have warned you that all of this was coming, a voice I think we can all agree, spiritually centered and about all the right principles. Donald Trump told you this would happen. Donald Trump, the quote that Stugotz has in front of him from Donald Trump in what year? 2000?
July 19, 2022, Trump said all those golfers that remain loyal to the very disloyal PGA will pay a big price when the inevitable merger with LIV comes, and you get nothing but a big thank you from PGA officials.
Wow. I hate so much to agree with Trump.
Well, you agree with him. What do you mean? He told you this was going to
I
happen.
know, and I have to give him
You agree with his
props.
prediction?
You agree that his prediction is correct
yes.
now that
Well,
they've
now
merged?
that you have the results.
Okay, great work by you, Greg. Go sit in the penalty box
Whoa,
and continue.
wow, come
continue
on.
today's delirium. He's out of material. He's done. He doesn't have anything left.
Wasn't Tiger Woods starting like a top golf league? What happened to that?
Yeah, but that one had a partnership with PGA, and it was like going to be on. It was going to be nighttime, and it was going to be like a different kitschy thing.
You should leave, Greg. That was terrible. What you said is you agree with Trump that the prediction was correct.
Also, one of the things
I hate to agree with Trump about anything, and I have to give him props for being right about
You
something.
hate to give him props for
I hate
something.
that.
Right. I understand. Yeah. It's confusing times,
One
man.
of the things that the majors, at least, had going for it. One of the things that the majors had going for it was that you had this budding rivalry. People were like saying the Ryder Cup just needs to be LIV versus PGA because that had some juice to it, and it wasn't. I guess it crescendoed.
Like you had Koepka going against PGA Tour members.
Yeah, and it made the Masters
at the PGA.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it was a great turn in the rivalry that Brooks Koepka wins the PGA championship, and I'm allowed to be stunned by this just because there was no heads up, no signs that this was coming, and you have really influential people that thought they were for the first time standing up for something, and they got left out on an island. And the way that you make it good with them is here's a big fat check from the entity you didn't want to take the big fat check from.
Somehow Dustin Johnson has been made to look smart. It's unbelievable.
No, Phil's a genius.
People are
Phil's-
praising Phil right now.
Phil's a genius
but
now.
People
forgive
are
me.
praising
All
him.
right, hold on a second.
He's
Jesus
a genius.
No, that
Christ.
thing's happening. The
Look,
Pioneer
Look,
thing. Yeah.
Take moralities out of it.
For the love of God.
Take moralities out of it. Everybody that ended up jumping to LIV played it absolutely right. If this is a result.
That is correct, Mike, but the important part of your sentence is take moralities out
cast
of it.
aside the moralities.
Like the important part of your sentence. Yes.
nothing-
To
it's
make
nothing
it is
personal,
good
it's just business.
business. Yes, to cast aside your moralities. Yep. Absolutely. Agreed. Unsurprising that would win in today's America.
Yeah.
Totally unsurprising that the guys who are already fat cats in the country club are Greg Norman and Mickelson fighting over who can have more golf courses.
And now
Golden Bear.
guys like Rory are having their moralities ripped away from them.
That's correct.
Because
and,
the bad guys are.
and we will move on quickly, too. We will all move on quickly with whatever the moralities
If they have the
were.
monopoly.
Yes, Phil Mickelson will win at business if he has the fewest moralities.
You're going to
Correct.
not watch the Masters?
Correct.
You're going to not watch the Masters?
Nope, the winner will always be the greatest of the cheaters. That is correct. The greatest of the cheaters will always and forever win. Yes. If they're willing,
Are you talking to
if
me,
they're
or-
willing to be known as cheaters, yes, cash your soul for cheating, yes.